Down at the market, my local farmer tells me how my food is grown and comes to me. Not far from the city, the farmer is my neighbor. The freshest food is grown locally. There's a party in the kitchen, something smells good. I wonder who the chef could be. It's the kids in the kitchen.
Roll and stew, make and bake.
Kids in the kitchen.
Drizzle, sizzle, roast and toast.
Kids in the kitchen.
Slice and dice, mix and fix.
Kids are in the kitchen, cooking something yummy.
Welcome to Kids in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Tricia Ziemer. Our show is all about teaching kids about cooking with fresh produce and how nutritious that is, and learning how to grow it as well. Today we have travelled about 30 minutes out of Melbourne to the stunning Yarra Valley to a family-run farm. The Sperling family have 120 acres here in Coldstream where they raise cattle and grow hydroponic capsicum, strawberries and basil. And it includes a You Pick strawberry patch where the public can come and pick out the most sweetest red strawberries. They are to die for. They also have a front of house market shop where all the local growers bring their produce so that you and I can buy direct, fresh and inexpensively. By buying at local markets, your family gets the freshest food straight from the land and cuts out the expensive supermarket overheads. Some of the larger supermarkets are squeezing the farmer with ever lower buying prices for their own extreme profits and causing these farmers to lose their properties. Some of these properties have been in the families for generations. So not only do they lose their livelihood, they lose their heritage. But the Sperling family are making a success of it by growing hydroponically all year round and providing a shop front for the local growers to be able to sell direct to us. Today we'll be speaking to Tony Sperling about how they grow hydroponic capsicums, and we'll see the growing process from seedling to harvest. Later in the show, Gabriel will join us to teach kids how to select the freshest herbs and create a lovely fresh dip. Then the kids will head to the Mountain District Pony Club to cook with capsicum with professional chef Ryan Frost. And to put the syrup on the pancakes, the up-and-coming band Luna Moonies are going to serenade us. Join us as we explore Gateway Estate. Tony, thank you so much for showing me your hydroponic farm. Now, you grow capsicums.
We do. Welcome, Tricia, and it's a pleasure having you here. Yes, we do grow capsicums. We've been growing them here in our greenhouse since 2005, so we're coming up on 13 years now. We grow 3 different kinds of capsicums. We grow red capsicums, yellow capsicums and green capsicums. One thing a lot of people don't realise when they see a capsicum in the supermarket is they all start out green. And it's not until they mature that they change colour. So you see we have a green capsicum behind us here. When that guy matures, he's going to turn red. Further down the greenhouse we have yellow capsicums, but they start out as green, and it's not until they mature that they change to yellow, and orange ones are the same.
Now you beat me at that question because I was going to ask you, are they different species or is it just a different time in the growing process?
They are different species, that's right, yes. Interestingly, they do have capsicums which mature green, and they're really tricky because you don't know when to pick them because they don't change colour.
Well, that's what I originally knew, the green capsicum. It wasn't until later the different colours started breeding.
Well, that is true, yeah. I think coloured capsicums have been a fairly recent sort of addition to capsicum stocks. But
now, out in the wild, how do capsicums actually grow?
They grow as a bush, which is really in stark contrast to the vines that we see here now. But when they grow outdoors in a garden, they don't have a lot of space constraints, so they can let the bush out and do whatever they like. Here we're growing in a very limited area, so the way that we manage our capsicum plants is by training them up the strings that you see here now.
Yes, I did notice all the strings.
So we prune each capsicum bush to a single stem and train them up the string, and the string is there to support them because they get too tall to support themselves.
Of course. And what about how do you water and fertilise them?
Okay, that's actually quite a complicated process, the watering and fertilising. We have a lot of different sensors in the greenhouse. We have light sensors, humidity sensors, temperature sensors, moisture sensors.
Yes, I noticed it was quite moist in here.
It is very humid, yeah, and on a sunny day it gets even worse. So what we do to control the irrigation, the watering in the greenhouse, is we actually measure the light.
Oh.
And we convert that to an energy value, and when the plants receive a certain energy value of light, then they get a feed. By doing it that way, we always feed them exactly the right amount, always exactly the right time.
Where they can utilise it along with the sunshine.
Utilise it along with the sunshine,
How
yes,
about
and it also
that?
means that there's very little waste. Just as an example, it's a very efficient way of growing, and to illustrate that, field grower growing capsicums out in the field would use around 30,000 litres of water to grow a kilo of capsicums. We use about 600 litres. So we only use a fraction of the water to grow the equivalent amount of produce. It's very, very efficient.
And do you use recycled water?
We do recycle the water that we use here, yes. So we do get a little bit of runoff from the plants. We always like to feed them a little bit more than they need, so that if the sun comes out on a dull day, there's a little bit of reserve there for them to take up, so they can stay healthy. We actually capture all of that runoff and we recycle it back into the system and reuse it. So and because the fertilisers and the nutrients that we give to the plants is dissolved in that water, it means that not only are we reusing the water, we're reusing the fertilisers. So
Fantastic.
there's very, very little waste.
Now, how long's the growing season for capsicum, from baby to adulthood?
Baby to adulthood, we sow our new crop usually around the first week of June. We plant it out around the first week of July, and we have our first harvest around the middle of October, around the second week of October. So it's around 20 weeks from sowing to the first harvest. From there, we'll pick twice a week, every week for about the next 30 weeks. So it's an all year round
It sounds like
activity.
it. Very
yes.
busy.
Yes, it's very busy, yes. During the height of summer, you can almost stand here and watch these plants growing and watch the capsicum swelling on the plants.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
Yeah, and when the plants are growing really quickly, it's an awful lot to do in here. It's a very easy time.
Now, we've been lucky to catch you not only picking today, but also you're taking your old plants down and reharvesting them. Is that correct?
That's right, yes, yeah. So at the end of the season, we take all of the plants out, we cart them out into the paddocks on our tractor, and we feed them to our cows. So we're very big on recycling, not only water and nutrient and fertilisers, but also the old plants.
Do they like the plants and the capsicum, or both?
At this time of year, they love anything that's green. If it's green, they go crazy over it, Tricia.